like to welcome the 2012 sixth grade class of Dunphy.
Wonderful time. This is a transition in your life that you'll remember always. And as you have parents here, they will remember always. The future looks very bright for all of you. I know many of you will be going on to Hampshire Regional. Welcome. Some of you will be going elsewhere. Have a good time. The transition that you're embarking on is one that I want you to keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, you've had a great education here. You've had a time where you've been listening to your parents and you've been listening to your teachers. I'd like to give you a little advice. Next step, listen to yourselves. You've got a wonderful background. You're going to encounter a lot of people doing a lot of things, and it's going to be very, very enjoyable. But listen to yourselves. You've got that inner voice to guide you. I also want to encourage you, speak up. When you go on to bigger schools, and many of them will be in comparison to the Auntie Dunphy School, you'll have the opportunity to share your knowledge, share your wisdom. I wore this tie for you. It's the bright idea tie. If you've got a bright idea, share it. So from henceforth, you're on to bigger things, you're on to exciting things, enjoy yourselves. And remember, I've got the tie. Mr. Ben also has one. It was a tie contest, actually. So you get to decide who wins tonight. All right, thank you very much.
Hi, sixth grade class of 2012. Hi. First of all, congratulations. You made it this far. I'm going to ask you to actually cast your eyes to the world that is beyond Williamsburg. Right now, down in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, some of the world's leaders across this entire planet are meeting together to try to talk about how to make this world a better place. I bring that up because in all these meetings, they spend a lot of time talking about you. You are the youth, you are the young people who are really our future. And we know that you spent a lot of time in your time here in sixth grade really learning about all these places beyond Williamsburg. And what is beyond Western Massachusetts is complex. You've learned that the world has many hard things to work with, and then there's both lots of problems and lots of hope how to make this world a better place. So as you step forward with this awareness, we want to have you be encouraged to stretch further in your minds and in your hearts. So as someone who doesn't get to sit in the classroom, as all these wonderful teachers have spent time with you over the last 7 years, and as someone, as one of my school committee members said, we spent a lot of time talking about boring things in an interesting kind of way. Things about what's the budget, what's the policy, how much does the paper towels cost. We want to say to you that we do this because we so deeply believe in supporting you to give you the best possible chance to shine in how you are as individuals. So I have two things to say to you. First, you're awesome. So I want you to just take a minute and just feel that. You are awesome. So now I'm going to actually ask this entire auditorium of everybody around you, on the count of 3, in sixth graders, you're not going to say a word, you're just going to listen to this. On the count of 3, we are all going to say, you are awesome. And I invite all of you to actually find the biggest place of love in your heart and the support in this moment. 1, 2, 3.
You are awesome!
So the second thing I'm going to say to you is to just notice how that felt. You might not have necessarily felt it in your head. So I'm actually going to take a real risk here for all the great curriculum that these teachers have taught you to tell you that you have 3 brains. Really? No, this is not me telling you that there's extraterrestrials in your 6th grade class that you need to call on Men in Black with a new special religious unit. This is to actually tell you that you have 3 brains. For a long time, we focused on the brain that's in your head. The brain that says, this is where everything that controls your body, this is where all your smarts are. And they've been doing incredible science the last decade that actually is looking at that all the neurology you have in your head, they're discovering that there's even more things happening neurologically in your heart center and in your gut. So you actually have 3 brains of intelligence that you operate from. Think about all the phrases that we use. Brain bender, heart stopper, gut wrencher. Those things are not just phrases, they're actually the wisdom of our body. So when your gut tells you something is just right, or not such a good idea that you don't know really why, these are actually the physiological responses of our wisdom. The intelligence of our heart and our gut instincts affect how we make decisions and what we choose on a daily basis, but we're not always conscious of them. So my affirmation and challenge to you is to learn about and honor all of that wisdom. That takes practice. And as one teacher I use on a daily basis, we are practicing something all the time, whether we're conscious of it or not. Sometimes we dismiss the wisdom of our heart, or we ignore the warning of our gut, because our brain is telling us to do something else. So I invite you that the more you practice listening to your centers of wisdom, the more you can choose freely from that wisdom. You will make decisions that don't work, and you can use that as fuel to expand your kindness, assert your ideas, and connect to your community. So I have to admit to you that one of my greatest challenges is I'm afraid of failing. And sometimes that keeps me from actually doing something. And so one of them is like, I've got to write a speech. I don't often write speeches. So I actually had this moment like, I don't know what to say. So I actually tapped into my heart space. And I thought about the faces of all you in 6th grade. Some of you who I know a little bit better than others. All of which I know have worked really hard to get to this moment. Then I pulled in a friend and I said, I'm thinking about talking about 3 brains. In the moment of tapping into my heart and actually cultivating the idea, I got past the obstacle that this brain was telling me that I couldn't do. So that's my challenge, an affirmation to you, to listen to all of your intelligence, your head, your heart, and your gut instincts. If you're not sure of something, reach out. Call in this rich community of people that you just heard who said you were awesome. Reach out to them, talk to them. Administrators, teachers, friends, family, and all the town folk who vote every year overwhelmingly to fund your education and who really believe that you actually are the future of our future. Our school believes in and works hard to cultivate a place that supports your whole self. I don't think I'll get our principal to put in that we have three brains in the mission statement, but I know she believes in them. That means information and questions that hone your mind's ability and think and solve problems, and it means that you've been held in a safe place to figure out when you don't feel good, when you have conflict, and figure out your relationships. It's that whole self. You have begun on a journey of listening. I really like Tony's saying, listen and speak up and trust your instincts that come from all of those places of intelligence. So I'm going to ask you to do a little Simon Says. So right now, if you can, and I'm actually going to invite everybody in the audience to do this, put both your hands on your head. Thank the brilliance of your mind. And then put one hand on your heart and one hand on your gut. And the count of 3, you're all going to say, we are awesome, in your loudest, most loving voice. 1, 2, 3. We are awesome! Congratulations, class of 2012. Here it goes.
The Williamsburg PTO supports our school in many ways, and the 6th graders would like to thank them for their dedication and hard work. We would like to introduce a representative from the Williamsburg PTO.
planted the tree a little bit earlier. And I'm also realizing that, for those of you who know, I'm following my wife Sarah Christensen here. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'll probably hear her speech tonight. Hello and congratulations to the 6th grade graduating class. I'm here, my name is Gary Coombs, I wasn't in the program. I'm here on behalf of the PTO, where I've had the pleasure of working with parents and teachers and school administrators for the past year. Class of 12. We are presenting you with flash drives this year as a practical tool of your scholastic information as you head off to middle school, to manage your scholastic information as you head off to middle school. You are inheriting a world of information. So we hope this tool will make your life a little easier as you move between information gathering stations. Now, one of my strengths, if not faults, in life is to express the metaphor in the moment, however corny it may seem. Let's try it out. So here we go. Your parents are only too aware that their experience of tonight can be described as a flash. I'm sure that right now your parents are grappling with how fast you have grown and matured and are wondering, how did we get here so soon? They might be feeling tonight, could we just slow things down a bit? Maybe. Now about the drive. I thought about the moment you'd be applying for your driver's permit, and as a parent, that struck me with terror. So what's the message? Perhaps it is to slow down a bit and keep things simple. Yes, keep it simple. Don't lose sight of yourself and those who are supporting you this night. Have fun celebrating your accomplishments, your friendships, and your families. We as a school community are deeply proud of you. Congratulations. We honor you as the flash drive generation. Good luck.
We would like to dedicate this yearbook to Mr. Beck. There were lots of great things he did for us to like to remember him for. He was always understanding and tolerant of everything we came up with. Mr. Beck was always dedicated and cheerful. He was always helpful and knew what to say. We loved to see what new cool tide he would have on next. His way of describing science made it more interesting. No matter what happened, he always knew how to cheer us up. We would also like to wish Mr. Ben luck with the National Museum and Amherst College. Those places should be grateful to have. Mr. Ben is also our guest speaker, so will you please come up?
Thank you, Jess. You know, I thought about what I would say this evening, and I did take the opportunity to write something down, but I looked at it and read it, looked at it again, read it, and threw it away. Because it's not me. I just can't do that. But what I can do is I can look at the people that are here. And, you know, I've been doing some research around catastrophes. As I look at you, it came to mind, really. But the research is done around catastrophes. And what kind of things are born from catastrophes. And let's not say that you're all born from catastrophe when I'm sure from parents, I'm not sure we're all from catastrophes. But as I was thinking about it, I'm going, my goodness, you know, this group of people has gone through more catastrophes. And then what they've been able to do from that is then they've been able to adapt and evolve. Hence the National Museum, that's what I want to say. But think about it just for a minute. You know, I'm thinking back to kindergarten. Not my kindergarten, by the way, yours. And for many of you, I remember your kindergarten. And I remember the bathroom. Now just if you think about it for a minute, there's a bathroom outside the Vienna cafeteria, the one that's just down the hallway. Now, it's not the girls' bathroom, so girls, you're okay today. But that's not everything, mind you. But boys, in the boys' bathroom, what happened one day in kindergarten was a catastrophe. Or at least, for some people, it was a catastrophe. the little boy went into the bathroom and then came out of the bathroom. And that's usually a good thing because he did come out, especially when they're in kindergarten. And after he did that, you know, then somebody else went in, another child went into the bathroom, and they checked the bathroom, and it was a catastrophe. They were all upset. They came back into the cafeteria and said, something happened in the bathroom. And they said, well, what happened in the bathroom? Well, somebody, you know, and no, I don't know. What happened in the bathroom? And they were trying to explain this to the teacher. The teacher went in, well, let me go take a look at the bathroom. Now, the teacher that remembers looking at it in the bathroom will remember what this was. As they went into the bathroom, there was a very, very neat pile of poo. Now, the pile of poo, for some it was a catastrophe, but for others it wasn't. Now, the young boy, you know, he didn't see it as a catastrophe at all. The pile was there, and it was right next to the toilet. The teacher was quite upset and came in to let me know that there was poo on the floor. And once she explained that the poo was on the floor, I was thinking, this could be a catastrophe, or it might not be a catastrophe. Let's find out what's going on. So I went in to take a look at it for myself. I want to see, you know, I want to see poo. So I got in there and I see this nice pile sitting there, and I see the toilet right there. And then I asked the boy and said, you know, when you went to, you know, I didn't, for me it wasn't a catastrophe. That's why when you read it, Jazzy, you just said, you know, how do you handle things? I'm thinking, okay, this isn't a big deal, I don't think. And I said, well, can you explain to me what happened? And he was very good about it. And he said to me, well, Mr. Ben, I couldn't go on the toilet because it's too high. So I went there, and then but don't worry. I wiped and washed my hands afterwards and flushed the toilet. Now this is real stories are much more impacting. I mean, now this was a catastrophe until we realized what it was. And out of that small moment, we realized that the child never saw it as a catastrophe. But you know, the rest of the adults and the students, we all learned something from that experience. We learned that, you know, catastrophes are nothing more than something we all learn from. Something we can adapt to and change and then eventually evolve. Each of you has gone through catastrophes getting here. That's when I look at you, and I'm sorry, we could look at Mao, because see, everybody's name is really even. And I can think of a catastrophe for just about everyone that's here, somewhere along the way. And each of those catastrophes that happened, whether it was, you know, and I won't go into CJ. Let's talk. Okay? I mean, you know, this is just even this year. I mean, I was not the principal this year, okay? But I had the good fortune of having to go out on a field trip with this class, and we were down by the Connecticut River, and it was a great spot. It was beautiful, right down by the river, and there was this wonderful clay kind of material that we were trying to look at. And as we were walking through the clay kind of material, CJ and some of his cohorts made their way down closer to the river. And suddenly, you saw their foot sink. And sink. And suddenly, the mud was about up to his knee, and it could have been a catastrophe, but I looked at CJ, and I just went, let's go over here. And then we watched CJ kind of pull one boot out, and we had to go back and fish his boots out of the mud so he could come back with us, or shoes. But was it a catastrophe? Absolutely. It could have been a huge catastrophe. But what we did is, CJ, in the moment, he had his catastrophe, and then the rest of us got to watch, which was fun. Dylan went over to try to help him make the worst catastrophe, by the way. And we learned something from that. We learned that these catastrophes are going to allow us to adapt and change and improve and evolve and become the people you are. Every one of you has gone through something that's been incredibly life-changing, and it's only just beginning. It's only just beginning. The catastrophes are going to happen more, and they're going to be more dramatic. They're going to be more often. I think Mr. Coons mentioned something about a driver's license. We hope that that's not a real catastrophe. But there's so many things that are out there for you that you're going to get to try. Don't be afraid. Do what you've been doing since I saw you in preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Remember, do the things you do and don't worry about it. Make the mistakes, as Miss Bristol would say, or Miss Schweitzer. They would say, it's the hair thing. She's got that frizzy thing going. You've got to take chances, get dirty, make a mess, make mistakes, and then go. You've got to do those things. You guys have never been afraid of doing that. You should be proud of yourselves. So, my final word on it is, don't worry about the catastrophe. Go for it. Make that mistake. Do that adaptation, evolve, and move on. I thank you very much for having me here tonight. You guys are a fabulous group of people. Congratulations to all of you.
would like to thank all of the teachers who have helped us so much. In the 9 years most of us have been here, and it has been amazing. You have helped us to learn and grow. We have so many great memories to share, so here are a few.
First, we remember making books with Mrs. Moulton and learning to read. We remember Mrs. Lillard being so comforting and kind when we felt sad. She always knew the right thing to say. We remember reading poetry with Mrs. Maynard, helping us understand reading. We remember Miss Woods from preschool helping us learn. Then when we moved to the Dunphy school, she was there helping us too. She even made CJ cornbread with her grade.
Then there was Miss Milsom, who helped out in 5th grade with anything that we needed to be done. And she always asked about vacations and exciting things like that. Miss Forrester, you always have so much patience. We are learning something new and are just the person who comforts us when we're feeling blue. Miss Keller, playing kickball with you was so much fun. And CJ remembers when you played catch with him. Miss Jenkins, it was fun to see you at movie night, and your positive attitude keeps everyone upbeat. Miss Harvey, the care you put into teaching the lunch helpers really makes a difference, and we can tell that you put a lot of energy into making the food nutritious and delicious.
Mrs. Baker, you are always busy running the office and helping out. You're scared. You're always excited, even when you have to talk about those special words. Mr. O'Brien, we used to love when you would come to our classroom and make us laugh, especially when you did your Donald Duck voice. Mrs. Shipp, we had fun and learned a lot of new and different songs and things on your drum during the past 2 years. Mr. Mahoney, you are so creative and have the best ideas for projects and decorations time after time again. Mr. Hecker, we all really appreciate the extra work you put into our year. Your cool computer projects and kindness has made the year so much fun. Mr. O'Connor, we would all look forward to gym classes, and we loved all the fun games and jokes. Hope, we really have learned how to garden. Your exciting attitude has made gardening awesome. Laura, preschool wouldn't have been preschool without you. We loved when you would play with shaving cream, have cooking day, and sing the themes. Mrs. Foley and Sherry, kindergarten was so wonderful. Bird watching, playing with rubber bands, and being the wake-up fairy at the end of Lent. Mrs. Corpita and Mrs. Long. It was fascinating raising the butterflies in sand. We always looked forward to reading The Little Miss and Mr. Books.
Mrs. Brayman, we were always so tolerant when we didn't understand something, and we loved the individual interest projects. Mrs. Millette, days with you were so enjoyable and exciting, and we always looked forward to the next project. From the Laura Ingalls Wilder houses to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, we were never bored. Miss Wright, all the games you taught us were awesome, and we loved the fun. Mrs. Pelican, we really enjoyed all the books you read aloud to us, and we have learned an incredible amount. Thank you, Mrs. Forster and Mrs. Pelican. This has been a memorable last year.
We would like to say thank you for our parents for all the things you have done. Everything that we've been through, happy or sad, thankful or glad, you have been there with us the whole time. All the way up to 6th grade, you have supported us and will keep doing so forevermore. We would like to say thank you for opening up the whole world.
Thank you for making me laugh, helping me back, comforting me when I was scared or sad, forgiving me when I am bad, taking care of me when I am ill, and giving me an awful pill, giving me my favorite foods, and putting me in a better mood, getting me out of bed, and pulling my little sweat. Thank you for reading me bedtime stories and helping me with my worries, driving me here and there, and maybe taking me everywhere, always being there with a band-aid and bringing me home at yummy, snipping my hair and repairing my teddy bear, and lastly, for always loving me so, I know you will never let me go.
present the certificates of completion for 6th grade. Amanda Rose Adams. Andrew William Dickinson. Jasmine Delilah Dunphy. Odelia Louise Hill Foreman. Emma Jean Whitten. Emma Rose Gould. Lexi Ann Harris. Liana Marav King. Dylan William Mackenzie Howard. Brandon Lau. Molly June Mulder. Victoria Siobhan Nicoletti. Lillian Powers. CJ and Shelby. Abigail Florence Tobin. Corey Melvin Trudeau. Isabella Wolf couldn't be with us tonight. She had the opportunity to go on a four-masted schooner this week, so she's traveling. But we have with us.
We'd also like to ask Mrs. Pelican to come up, and Mrs. Forrester can't be here tonight. She's celebrating her anniversary, but she's here in spirit for sure. So Mrs. Pelton, can you come up and represent both you and Mrs. Forrester?
On behalf of all the parents of the sixth graders, we'd like to thank Ms. Pelton and Nancy Forster for your patience and your effort and all the work you've done this year. And the flowers on either side of the stage are from the family.
I don't know what to say to you all, but that's amazing. And I know that you're ready. You're ready for the next challenges that you are going to face, each one of you. So have a great trip. Thank you so much.
So sixth graders, I want you to think about the lyrics from the song we just sang a few minutes ago. And although there's still a lot of you that's unwritten, there are little bits of you that are already written upon. They've been written upon by your kindergarten teachers, preschool teachers, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade teachers. All of the adults sitting around you and your parents have done a little bit of writing on you, but there is still a lot unwritten. So take those things that are already written in your hearts and use them to go out and do great things in this world. And like the words you just told us, drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. I would like to present to you now the now graduated class of 2000.
Abby, how are you not thinking about it? You don't want to see my This is a picture of our class.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. It's right on the back.
We did a little flash drive. This is our yearbook.
Nice.
We get like this pretty spiffy certificate of achievement.
It's so official.
Kickball, we're gonna play kickball.
Oh, that's a great idea.
No, with your dresses.
Kickball in your dresses?
Kickball.